Hello YouTube, Captain Mac here, and welcome to another search and rescue operational flight in the Miltech MH-60. Now we are going to be flying out of San Diego today, and the reason is this is kind of a test flight. I'm actually trying something new here. I'm flying this in VR. But I'm using Flight Recorder, which is an add-on program. I'll try to remember to put a link in the video description. It's an add-on program that allows you to record the aircraft's flight in the sim and then play it back in the sim, right? And it's how I've made some videos in the past where I flew formation flights with myself. It's kind of interesting. But anyway, so I'm going to fly the flight in VR, and then I'm going to play it back using that program and create a video out of that. Now, with that said, I actually already did the flight earlier, and I'm doing this kind of as a voiceover because I was trying to line up the audio, but when I recorded it earlier in my silliness, I didn't have the correct microphone selected. So we've got that now. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to play the flight back, and I'm going to narrate pretty much as I would for a normal flight, but I'm going to just try and kind of be on top of things. Hopefully that makes sense. Also would like to note that particularly with this aircraft, I don't know about any others, Flight Recorder does not record engine condition and things like that. So what does that mean for us? Well, what that means is when I do an engine startup, Flight Recorder doesn't recognize that. So I could leave the aircraft in the condition that it's in right now and play the flight, the playback from the Flight Recorder, and the aircraft will take off and it'll fly the entire route, which would be kind of funny to watch. We're not going to do that. So that means I'm going to have to interact with the sim as we go along and try to get things to line up properly so that systems are coming on and so on. In some ways, that'll be a little bit easier since I was unable to get the audio done properly earlier. I have to go through a startup on the aircraft anyway, and we're going to do that here in just a moment, and that should flow pretty smooth. So that's about the gist of it. I think the idea here is I'm trying to determine, you know, I love flying in VR, but I know that the video can be really shaky and the quality is not as good. And that's because I'm having a real hard time getting a mirror, a VR mirror that's given the quality like you're seeing right now. And so I definitely want to still put out high quality videos for you guys. Live streams will still be VR, and hopefully I'll find a better solution for the mirror here soon. But this introduction has gone on long enough. So what do you say we get this flight going? You guys give me your feedback. Do you like doing it this way? It's going to be a little bit more cinematic involved, a little less voiceover, that kind of thing. Or do you prefer to see me actually fly it in VR? You guys let me know down in the comments. Alrighty folks, welcome to the flight deck. We are cold and dark. We are going to be running this flight with on air today, so we will have an actual rescue taking place out there, so that's going to be fun. We're going to search for them, find them, rescue them, and bring them on back. But since we're in a cold and dark state, we need to go ahead and get things fired up here, so we're going to jump on up to the overhead panel here, and let's get the battery on to start with. And let's just throw a little bit of lights on that overhead panel for you. We're going to go with the APU to start. Hopefully it works properly. Sometimes it doesn't work the way it's supposed to. So let's fire up the APU. Any day. Let's go ahead and get that engine ignition to normal so it's ready to go for us. Yeah, so it's doing that cycle thing. When you do this, you can still do APU power. I don't know why that sound cycle's on and off. A lot of folks have talked about that as an issue. It's not the end of the world. It's something that we do need to keep in mind. If it happens, you can still run it like the APU is going. I haven't had any problems starting the engines doing that. So I think we're going to be good to go. Let's jump back over to the flight pilot's view here. It always jumps back there first. Not sure why. But we need to go ahead and get our monitors turned on here. So we get those turned on. The weather is actually different now than it was when I flew it earlier, which is kind of funny, but we're just going to go with it. It's not that big of a deal. So we got those on there, and we'll come down here. Not really sure what just happened there, why that popped up, but okay. Anyway, go to config, take your chocks off, and remove the covers. Covers off. There we go. I always forget to do that. Now, normally you probably won't have a voiceover like this with me using this method because these are for your nav system. Because some things you won't be able to see me doing since I'm doing them in VR and then playing it back later. That won't show up on the playback. In fact, my mouse wouldn't show up at all, except that this first portion for the startup has to be done on here anyway. Hopefully that makes sense. jumping back up here, we are going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to run these all the way up to crossfeed. We're going to put engines 1 and 2 at idle. We're going to make sure our anti-collision lights are on both and on flash. And then we're going to go ahead and we've got the engine ignition set up here. So we're going to go ahead and start on 1. There she goes. And we can jump back over to the proper view here for a minute. I like that it at least stays like that. So you've got your WCA page up here. It's showing the engine coming up. Everything's obviously in red right now. We're going to wait for it to get into the green. You'll hear the little start button pop out when it does. See the little start button? There it goes, popped out. So we can go ahead and we can run that all the way up now. Zoom. And we're not trying to zoom in here. All right, there she is coming online. And we can go ahead and throw that generator on and start on 2. And we'll just stay in this view until the start button pops out. All right, beautiful. We'll run that one all the way up to flight. Just throw some lights on here since it's just a little dark outside. That's more for your benefit than it is for mine because I'm not actually even doing the flying here. It's already been done. I did fly it. Just not flying it right now. Okay, we can turn the APU gen off, turn the APU off, and the fuel boost off, and then we want to turn the air source to engine rather than APU. I like to leave the ignition on because if you have to do a restart of an engine in the air, you're going to need that switch, and I've had to do that. So let's make sure we get the pitot heat on there. Everything's coming up nicely. We're just waiting on that rotor RPM to get up. What else we got here? Oh, we need to get our SAS 1 and 2 trim, and then go ahead and bump that AFCS or autopilot control. It's still saying off for some reason, not sure why. Oh, it might be because we haven't done the stabilator yet. Now let's try it. There we go, that got rid of it. And then we just got the warning for low rotor RPM. All right, we're going to pop the map up on here. Now, you're not going to see the flight plan on the map. It's just one straight line anyway, which is unfortunate. The reason you're not seeing it is because I flew this earlier. I'm not flying it right now, so I don't have on air pulled up or anything like that. But that completes our engine start checklist. All right, so it's rather interesting here. You're going to notice in a moment as I got the replay resuming now, you're going to see the landing lights come on the aircraft. And it is when I flip them on with the switch inside. And the switch moves inside, but the collective's not moving up and down, which I found really interesting. Also, the pedals are moving. But again, there's the landing lights coming on. But the switch is not, or the collective won't move. So the pedals move, the collective moves, or doesn't move. I don't know if the cyclic moves or not. But either way, we're just getting ready to back up the aircraft here just a little bit because for whatever reason, it likes to place it way forward on this particular parking spot. So we'll go ahead and back up the aircraft and taxi over to this little sort of mini runway they have over here. Alrighty, folks, we're underway here. We'll see how this works out with a bit of a voiceover going on. So far, I don't think it's too bad. The thing really wanted to nose over, but if you look at it, it's still trying to climb here. Like you can see, it was still trying to climb a little bit, even though it was nosed over pretty far. So, as we were departing out here, I made the decision we wanted to skirt around the naval base there, the Naval Air Station in San Diego. When we come back, we'll go right over the top of it, but typically, obviously, we wouldn't want to just fly over it. You notice, too, we'd want to probably go a different direction because we're going to go right past the approach end of this runway here, but It's all good. We'll just pretend that we communicated with them, and we're gonna skirt on out here, and we'll find ourselves a little search pattern as we get out. So I'm kind of thinking that since we're doing this more as a voiceover, I'm gonna do a little bit more of a cinematic look to this. And again, when you guys get an opportunity, just jump down in the comments there and let me know what you think of how this is set up. Like I said before, I flew this in VR earlier. So what you're seeing is the playback of that flight, which is really cool that you can do that. Let me just try to, you know, except that you don't see me looking around and stuff like that. So some of you may prefer the VR look, some of you may not, but just let me know down in the comments. Alrighty folks, so we're already kind of technically into our search area here. It's a 10 nautical mile search ring. So what we're doing right now is we're just flying to the center point of that search ring, and then once we hit that, we'll go into our search pattern, right? And so we're just kind of getting it in line here, cruising out to sea. You got some ships off to the side over there. We're looking for a small boat here. Somebody's been injured, I think, on the boat is what we're looking for. So I hate that we get all these little artifacts in the water. Do you guys deal with that too? It's kind of obnoxious. But anyway, that's what we're doing. We're cruising along nicely, making good time. So the winds aren't real strong, but we do have a bit of a headwind. It's not a big deal. But we're just going to keep cruising out here, keep doing some of these cinematics, and we'll find this guy, pick him up, and bring him back. Alright, so we found our guy here, and we're just settling into a hover to pick him up. Now, interestingly enough, the flight recorder did not pick up the boat that was out here. I thought it might, because it should be something that's in the world, but I guess it must just have been a temporary thing or something like that. So you're not actually seeing the boat, but I figure, what the heck, let's just show you the hover mode here real quick. So I did try to use the auto hover in this rescue. I was going to try and show it, but it was actually acting up, so we ended up not using it. But you can see here, if you hit the mode button, it changes your display here. That's map, that's HSI, and that's hover. So when you're in the hover mode, basically all you got to do is you got to center up that circle, which it should be centered because I had it dead center. But either way, you center up that circle, and you just hold your altitude, and as long as that circle stays centered on the cross, you're not going forward, backward, left, or right, and you can hold a steady hover in this thing all day long. It is super easy. And once you're done with your pickup, which for on air, the pickups take almost a full minute, I think. So you got to hover, I think it's below 70 feet, not sure, but I like to be between 30 and 50 anyway. You hover there for almost a full minute, it completes the pickup, and then away you go. Alright, we got our guy picked up. We've set a course back to base. You do that just by going back into the search pattern menu. Choose the last option. It's just a return to base option. It gives you a direct line from wherever you're at back to your base. And so that's what we're doing now. We're going to cruise on back. It's unfortunate that the boat wasn't there, but I think we got a really cool view from the water anyway, so I think that's pretty awesome. And we'll just say the guy fell off a boat and the boat disappeared. Maybe it was one of those cruise ships over there to our left. Either way, he is in need of some medical attention, so we're not going to skirt around the end of the peninsula like we did on the way out here. Instead, we're just going to drive straight back in, right over the top of the Naval Air Station. We've already got permission, and we'll land it at the base. So if anybody knows how to get rid of these grid line artifact things in the water, that'd be great. But either way, we'll see you guys here in a little bit when we're ready to land. All right, so we're just coming over the top of the base here. This is the Coast Guard station right here. I can tell you right now, I came in just a wee bit fast and didn't get the cleanest landing. I brought her to pretty close to a stop right over the fence and just a little offline from that sort of mini runway they have there. I was really hoping to get a little bit cleaner of an approach, but I was also in a bit of a hurry. So I see that I left this in hover mode. We would probably want to be over here in the HSI mode. But anyway, we'll bring her in here for a nice easy landing, and we'll show you what that looks like from the outside, because I think the cinematics look pretty cool. It's a little hard to see, obviously, in VR. I was looking around a little bit, but you can see I came in just a little close to that fence. A lot closer than I wanted to be, for sure. But in fact, I think if we look out the side, there's probably way too close. But we'll see here in just a second in the cinematic view. Alrighty, folks, we got her on the deck. We got her parked here. Let's go ahead and get things shut down now. Come up top here. Let's see if we can get this APU running this time. Come on down. There we go. APU fuel boost. And let's see if it works this time. It didn't the first time. Maybe it will this time. Who knows? Meanwhile, we can go ahead and put the engines to idle. Yeah, it's not going to work. You hear it just went off again. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to put that on. Actually, I'm going to put ground power on. I'm going to leave the APU off. That's fine. Turn that bad boy off. And let's go ahead and shut the engines down. Alright, I just went ahead and shut her all the way down because that ground power unit's really loud and I didn't want to be shouting over that thing. So, either way, this was a fun flight for me when I did it earlier, and it was actually kind of fun editing the video like this. It's a different way of doing it. I've never done it this way before, so in fact, I haven't even done the editing yet. This is just me getting the clips, basically, and talking over some of them. So, we're going to see how this works out, but I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Please do let me know down in the comments if you like this method. It's going to have a little bit more cinematic in it and so on. That's my intention anyway. Or if you prefer to just see me fly in VR and bump my gums as we go. Whatever you guys prefer, just let me know in the comments, and we'll try to accommodate as much as we can. But this was kind of a fun way to do it. Made it a little easier too, because I could just record the flight when I had time to fly, and then I can record the little clips and stuff when I have time to do that, and then I can edit when I have time to do that. So it kind of works out for me, but I'm good doing it the other way as well. I am still going to do some live streams. Really into the kind of the Coast Guard stuff right now, in case you hadn't noticed. So we're going to be doing some more of that. Hopefully get an opportunity to do some more flying with my good friend Joe. And I'm looking at trying to set up a, what do you call it? Like a group flight thing where I can, where you guys can all join me on like a live stream. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know, and I'll continue to look into how to do that. Just keep in mind, I am still flying in Flight Simulator 2020. I haven't upgraded to 24 yet. Probably still be a little while before I do that. So either way, like I said, I enjoyed the flight. I hope you guys did as well. Let me know what you think of the content. Give it a thumbs up. Throw a comment down below. Like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And until next time I see you guys, I do pray that the Lord continues to bless you as he has blessed me, and you all have been a blessing for me. I appreciate every one of you that's stuck around for so long since I haven't made videos in quite a while. You guys are amazing. Shout out to my boy Webbo. I missed a couple birthdays for him, so I want to make sure we give him a shout out as well. That's it. That's all. No more, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, as always, keep the blue side up, unless otherwise instructed by ATC. God bless you all. Have an absolutely fantastic day.